went in March for 3 weeks.
No, I do.
Okay, so you're,
Cheryl.
Cheryl.
So everybody, I mean,
Okay, so.
but you were here for Scott and, okay, so we're all
So-
kind of,
So I understand Scott and Kenny were here for the last meeting.
and you were there.
And I was
Yeah, we
over
were
in
there, but that day
Cameroon.
was
Yes, yes. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, but if you want me to answer questions about the ministry, just interrupt me, because I want to make sure you're tracking with me. But I start with this picture because, my friends there, are the reason why I'm doing what I do. I have been on a wonderful journey with Jesus, and it's been recently that he's asked me to step up and do something new and different. I became part of MCWA through my church at the chapel on the campus. I started attending there in 1990 when I came to the Lord, and knew about the ministry, knew of the missionaries, but wasn't really engaged with it. I actually worked on staff at the chapel in the children's ministry. That's why when the little kids' feet were running around, it was music to my ears, because that was my mission field for a while, was children. In 2003, I had found myself with a 20-plus year career in healthcare finance. I'm a CPA, and had worked through the corporate ladder and decided that I did not have the temperament to be in the nonprofit healthcare world. I wasn't even in the for-profit world. They would have eaten me up and spit me out. So I found through somebody at the chapel, they introduced me to the board of MCWA and said, Cheryl, you've worked in hospitals, and you're a CPA, why don't you come be on our board and be a volunteer? I said, sure. And as soon as I did that, they said, oh, by the way, we need a treasurer, so you're going to be the treasurer of the mission as soon as I came on. And thus began the journey that changed my life. I had the wonderful opportunity of going to Cameroon the first year I served as a board member, and that really was important to me. Arriving there, seeing the hospital, meeting the missionaries, and understanding what the ministry was all about. So I served as a volunteer board member from 2003, went again in 2008, and that's when I really started having a change of heart of wanting to do something more than just be a volunteer. And as time has passed, what that's turned into is I am now the staff member of the headquarters here in Baton Rouge. The board members that have supported the missionaries have been based out of Baton Rouge for since our inception in 1989. And we've primarily just been volunteers. You know, missionaries are working there. We were here to help with contributions and prayer letters and things like that. But the work was really coming out of Cameroon. And even with the advent of great technology, missionaries had a hard time being in two places: serving on the field, working in the church planning work, or working in the hospital, and coming back and dealing with their work here. So I said, I think I want to come work at the office, and offered to do that. And I was half-time staff member. I still held my board position. The board actually gave me an exception to be able to have two hats, which was good. Then last year, the board decided to name me as the executive director, and I'm really the person that now has the authority. We still have a board chair, we still have board volunteers, we have 11 people, men and women, that serve, and they've asked me to lead the ministry now. My vision is, back when I worked at the chapel in the children's ministry, I did not want to be the front person. I wanted to be the person that supported the front person. And the year that we taught VBS, my director at the time talked to me about Exodus 17 and how there was Moses and there was Aaron and Hur holding up Moses' arms when he got tired, and the Israelites prevailed. Well, I saw myself holding up the arms of the missionaries. And when I went in 2008, I knew that's where my heart was. I wanted to do the things here so that our missionaries could stay on the field and we could get more missionaries there. So from 2008 on, I have been working, and my husband is so excited about all of this opportunity. He's a state employee, and that provides us with sufficient income to keep the household going, and he really would love to see me be in ministry full-time. So this has never been the case in MCWA. We've had missionaries, they raise support, they go live in Cameroon. So I'm actually starting a process of raising support for being a full-time staff member and staying in Baton Rouge to serve with our missionaries. I am currently taking a salary that's equivalent to what the salary is for the missionaries that live in Africa. So my commitment to the board and to our ministry is that my salary would never be more than what the missionaries earn in Cameroon. And I am a Perspectives graduate. Does anyone know what Perspectives course is? Have y'all heard of that? It's a college level course that's offered by the U.S. Center for Missions, and it is on reaching the world for Christ and talking about the Great Commission and what that means. And I took that class in 2009 and decided that I wanted to be a mobilizer and a sender personally. And I wanted to make sure that for as many people that were going, that my husband and I were part of that as well. So that's what I see myself doing, is I'm a mobilizer and a sender. So the board is thrilled about my vision and my desire to do this. I guess the challenge ahead is because there's never been this type of paid position, is going out and talking to people about giving in a new way to MCWA. Scott and Kenny may have covered this. In the 20 plus years of our ministry, our missionaries have always been fully funded. They have never had to come back home and raise support in a crisis environment. They have been loved and cared for by the people that support them for more than a generation. They actually have second generation missionaries out there. You saw the picture. We've got grandparents and we've got tiny ones there. So we have no general fund to pay for my salary. We have money to pay for the secretary, the associate that does all the bookkeeping and all of that administrative stuff. I have gone to my church at the chapel. I went to their missions committee, and they have commissioned me, prayed over me, and contributed financially to this endeavor. One-time gifts have been received already, and my half-time salary is now fully funded for 2013. And I thank God for that, because that was bigger than I thought would could happen, and that's showing me that I just have to stay out of the way and let God do what He's able to do. So my pastor at the chapel said, Cheryl, if you want to do this, go raise money for all your salary and then just be doing this. What I do the other half time is I work at a CPA office, and so I've continued to keep a CPA job that is able to help me pay down quite a few of our bills to allow us to be in full-time ministry. So I took that job 9 years ago, and it was supposed to be a temporary gig. And so 9 years, they love what I do. As a matter of fact, the partner I work for was my biggest supporter when I went to Cameroon in March. He helped me with raising my funds to go there. So they know exactly what I'm doing, they know my heart, and they are very supportive of it. They'll be sorry to see me go. They will not be surprised. So I'm raising $50,000, and that would pay the salary, the payroll taxes, the workers' comp insurance, and then would pay for me to be able to travel once a year back if needed. And I would only go if I'm needed. If things are going well, I would just, use that money and save it for the trip when I did need it. So that's what I'm going out to do. I'm talking with people that are new to MCWA, that have not heard about our ministry of medical missions, and I'm place where there is an unreached people group that does not know Jesus and does not have a church in their people group. That's where our hospital is, in the middle of nowhere, Africa. And it is an amazing ministry to see God's miraculous hand in healing for medical needs, and it's a hard road to work with a Muslim people group, and I'm passionate and committed to doing this. So that's what I wanted to share. I'd really like to just hear what questions y'all have so that I can make sure I share the right information.
Yeah, I think we asked a lot of questions of
Yeah, we-
you.
Good, I'm
Yeah,
glad,
we
I'm
drilled
glad
them
you.
about the ministry.
Yeah,
Good,
yeah.
good.
And I think they showed us a bunch of pictures too.
Yeah, they did.
Good. I mean, I did bring with me the last year financial report. I can leave that for you. It's the report that was given to all of our supporters. You know, if you guys want to see our tax return, our 990, it's on the website, and we have that done every year. So we can provide you whatever detail you need. I've got a good brochure. Did he leave you the article about the hospital work? It was written by the UK ministry that we work with.
He left us one thing we read about the hospital.
This red thing. I'm gonna leave this with you. Pioneers UK is one of the partners of MCWA. We've been able to do amazing things because of large organizations like Pioneers that come alongside us. So in one of their newsletters, they wrote a special article about MCWA and about the hospital. And so I'll leave it with y'all, but this really talks a lot about what our heart is. So I can leave this with you, and then this is the financial report that we shared as well, so you can have that information too.
What about your contact information?
I have that, and boy, am I just unprepared. I have a single one.
Yeah, I'd like to copy it before you do this.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. So, as soon as I have raised full support, I am going to the CPA firm and telling them that my season with them is finished. And actually what I have committed to is 100 days for this summer to get my support raised. And I'm walking in faith and believing at the end of the summer, I'm going to the CPA firm and telling them that I want to do this full time. So that's my heart. I'm talking to business people that know me in the healthcare world. I was with about 200 of them this week in Lafayette. People that have known me in a lot of different